How's everybody doing tonight? I'm the ghost of Go Veer, Go Home, and this is GVO After Dark, Season 3. This is the season finale. I won't be able to do this thing alone, though. It's too scary. I think I need to find some co-hosts. How about Eminem Rails? Literally.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. How are you today?
I'm good. It's so hard to type with these gloves on. Oh my gosh.
Is it?
So hard.
And we've
How you
got
doing?
another guest, which will probably break the internet. Oh, he's not even there.
Oh, hi guys. What are you guys doing here? It's Saturday night. I thought Thursdays was happening. Oh, well, hey everybody. This is just a typical Saturday night for me, but
I hear he wears that to bed.
Only when my wife lets me.
How are you doing today, Dave?
I'm awesome. How are you guys?
Good.
Do you know how many Halloween parties I turned down to be on this show tonight?
4.
Actually, none. You're my only friend, so.
Oh. But we're happy to have you here.
Yeah.
Still got to here too.
You know, I didn't fully think this through because even though it's, pitch black in here and I'm just a soul drifting through the cosmos.
Yeah.
I can't actually see most of the stuff that I wrote down, which is what I normally do on, the Thursday show. I usually write a bunch of stuff down and then, reply it back to you guys. But we'll try our best. I'll see what I can remember. And then, we'll go from there. But today is the night before Halloween, so I thought it would be fitting for us to do a live show tonight, which is Saturday. A lot more people are able to tune in and whatnot, so no one's going to miss anything. So
Hallows Eve. I skipped egging Mark's house for this.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Last year, I spent the following day cleaning so much. I don't know if they were rotten eggs or what, like premium eggs. I don't know.
Boiled.
What's that?
Boiled eggs.
Yeah.
You have to
the dog loved them. Gucci loved it. Gucci like scrambled eggs.
But so today, because it's Halloween tomorrow, we're doing the Halloween episode, which we've done the last couple of years. We always do the whole dress up thing, which is neat. And, especially at our age, I don't get to do this much anymore. So, but besides that, well, I mean,
speak for yourself.
We can't all have a bacon outfit.
Like I said, typical Saturday night right here, boys.
The best was, I guess, like last month. The three of us are texting each other, and Dave says, "Oh, last Halloween episode was great when I dressed up as bacon, or as
pizza. It was a pizza.
Yeah, we're making jokes." And Chris and I are like, "You were on the show last year, Dave." No, I was. And there's a brief pause. So we could tell he went back to the videos to check. He's back on. A little sheepish. Yeah, I wasn't on the show. I must have dressed up and just watched from the corner of the door.
I don't know why I thought I was on the show. I thought this was the first show I was on, but I swear, I guess I just did dress up and sit and chat with you guys. So I think that means next month might be my 1-year anniversary on this.
Might be. We're also starting season 4?
Yep.
Jeez, how the time has flown by.
It's crazy.
But before we get started, there's a number of people that showed up nice and early just to say hi. James and K-Town, Split Rock, Robert, Drew Dude, and I'm sure there's more. If I can actually see it because it's lit up right in front of me. But Robin and Perry. Hey Perry, you actually get to catch one of the shows. Normally you're working on a Thursday night, so that's cool.
I went trick-or-treating earlier to my wife, and she gave me a candy bar, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that real quick.
And Luca, thanks for joining us. Angela, how's it going? Rail Artist. And yeah, if I missed you, I'm sorry. But we've got a good show lined up tonight. We are going to be talking. I've got a few announcements. If I can remember the news, which I normally do a news thing. And we're also going to talk about the things that scare us about building a model railroad layout. So that'll be fun. I think at one point we've all had those things that we're like, I don't know, so. But we are going to, more or less confront our fears, and we're going to talk about those things that we've done to, help those that might be, swaying on the fence about whether or not to build a layout. So that should be good. Now, because I can't remember and I cannot read the news, the actual news, what I do remember is that I saw an information thing. Yes, that's right, an information thing. And it was a little piece of history, and this I actually remember. There was a guy who worked on the railroad, and I believe this was in like the 1970s, something like that. And he lost both his legs, obviously due to a train. And one day he saw a monkey, and the monkey was pulling a wagon. And he said, well, if I teach the monkey to pull the wagon, like pull me to work, then I can still go to work and I can do my job. So he bought the monkey, and I don't remember any of the names. There was a name for the monkey and a name for the guy. So
Let's
basically,
just call him Chris as the monkey. Mark can be the guy.
Okay.
Just as placeholders.
That's fair. So Mark, the train guy, he bought the monkey and named it Chris, and he took he got him to pull him to work every single day, and eventually the monkey would pick up on all the work that Mark was doing, and he learned how to operate switches and whatnot. And eventually the railroad hired the monkey to work for the railroad, obviously. And he worked for the railroad for, I want to say it was 20 years, and he never made one mistake. So, but yeah, that's my little story tidbit for you.
Sorry. So what you're saying is a monkey can work for a railroad, make zero mistakes, but you guys come over and constantly can't switch a turnout in the right direction and just continuously derail my trains.
It's all the rules, man. It's all the rules.
The damn those speed limits, they ruin everything.
So was that true story? Was that true story, Chris?
Yeah, that's true story. True story.
Oh. Huh.
I was waiting for like the Halloween ending where like the monkey kind of.
It was not a monkey at all.
Enough's enough.
No.
I'm tired of working for peanuts.
So I've got some things that I can kind of see. You know what? When I do this, and I turn to a lighter shade of blue, a friendlier ghost, I can actually see what I wrote down, which is kind of neat. So I'm going to do this for a minute because there's some stuff that's new in store. The Atlas Canadian slab side covered hoppers. They're about $46 to $60. That was the True Line Trains tooling that Atlas bought, and they're in store now. You can get CNR, CN Noodle, the CP with the Pac-Man scheme. You can get them both in the 6 or the 12 hatch, or the CP in the 6 or 8 hatch. And there's also TH and B if you're interested. 3 numbers of each. And they look awesome, especially with the fact that, they were True Line trains and now they're, they're under Atlas's name now. Bowser put out more SD 40-2s, BCR, the CP Multimark, and the CP Expressway. Also, Algoma Central. Sorry, I'm having pronunciation issues. And they're 193 for a DC model, or 290 to about 340, depending on where you buy from, for DCC sound. And here's something for the N scalers who might be watching right now. Micro Trains did the 50-foot box cars for Ontario Northland, and some specialty schemes. There's a Christmas Micro Mouse print and a Halloween Micro Mouse print as well. They're about $36 to $42 each. It's a lot to remember, and that's why I totally botched the first half of that. So there really wasn't that many announcements this past month as far as manufacturers announcing some really eye-catching things. I'm sure that there was one or two. So if you guys in the chat there, if there was something that was announced this past month and you just want to, we're going to give you control this time. So if you saw something that was announced this month, you can go ahead and put it in the chat there. Let us know what you're hoping for, what you're excited for. And I'm sure that when they come out, we'll be able to talk about them as well. So this past month, we all did our normal videos, and Mark is laughing. I don't know why Mark.
No,
is
sorry, that's me. My cats keep sniffing the costume.
He thinks you're food.
They're all like, all 3 of them are here, and 2 of them were kind of circling me there for a second.
Well, you do look
Delicious.
rather scrumptious. But Mark, you did a number of really neat videos this past month. Do you want to talk about it? I think is he a mute Eminem? He doesn't talk. Did we mute him?
No, he muted himself. There you
Sorry
go.
about that. I was talking to my wife. I guess I did not unmute it. Sorry, these things, I'm telling you.
It's okay.
I went to go type hi Fred and I typed hi Fed. Yeah, well, while I have the floor, let me show you something. I can't do it with my gloves on. I just saw a comment from someone who said, "David, would you eat yourself since you're bacon?" So.
Oh wow. Somebody's hard up on a Saturday night, man.
I mean, I probably wouldn't eat myself, but I would still eat bacon even if it was considered cannibalism. Only in this case. Let me be very clear about that.
So, yeah, speaking of dressing as food, my wife and I went as peanut butter and jelly for Halloween at school on Friday. Yesterday already? Yeah. So this is us here. So I had cafeteria duty. I'm wearing my peanut butter outfit. And a student looks at me straight in the eyes, straight face. He goes, "Hey, sir, I'm eating you right now." What? Oh, yeah, I have a peanut butter sandwich right now. How does that feel? Like, what? And again, while on the floor here, speaking of videos, so you saw Ampersand made that pumpkin. Didn't want it to go to waste, so I brought it to school. We had door decorating contest. So I did a train theme. One of my students is like, "Sir, I think trains are more for like Christmas time." I said, "Yeah, but no one else is going to use a train for their outdoors, so we should win with a Halloween train."
They did not win.
We didn't win. We didn't win.
Must have been rigged.
Yeah.
Man, my palms are sweaty. Jeez.
So now,
Hopefully
I
you don't
really
melt.
liked the Halloween video that you did, and so did you find out where the original story came from?
Oh, I never got a chance to Google it. The only lead I have is the Steeler Road left a comment saying that the version he heard was a doctor had conspired with an inmate. And the doctor said, I'll fake your death, like I'll pronounce you dead, but you're not really dead, and I'll let you out."
Yeah.
And then, of course, he turns the flashlight on, and it's the doctor beside him. So I meant to Google that.
It was really well done. Very well done.
Thank you. I spent probably too much time on that video, right? Writing the script, doing the filming, then editing. It's crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. It was well received, which makes me happy.
And Ampersand is, I mean, he's a hoot. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just sends me the footage. He sent me about 6 hours of footage of him carving that pumpkin. I had to cut it down to 3 minutes. So
is there going to be some B-roll? Are you going to put up some B-roll footage of that? Because if you got 6 hours, I mean, you could do a marathon of that.
most of it's just him like scooping guts out and singing to himself. So I don't know how.
That would make a good video.
Yeah.
I'd watch that all the way through.
I would definitely watch that as well. Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
On your third rail, yeah, that was your you also had your third rail Thursday as well, and you were running trains, which is good. It's always good to see.
I tried to run trains.
Yeah, there was a few technical difficulties, if I remember correctly.
I think we all get those every once in a while.
Yeah, it's a combination of my track work and the cars. The two of them weren't going well together. So I'm hoping to redeem myself. When do I go live? November? The third Thursday in November?
Third Thursday, yeah.
Yeah.
No change. And what about Mr. Bacon there?
For October, I think the big things. I did a layout update, but it was mostly for the interior lighting, which you can't see really. And then I also put in some more lighting on the layout. I have those yard lights.
Yep.
So I put those up, and actually, you might if I plug it in, because I haven't set. I gotta wire it. Oh geez, this is gonna be. Don't blow up. I don't even know if you can see that. That wasn't even worth it. My cat's standing in front of my screen. I can't tell. Anyway, I got some lights hooked up, and I think it looks fantastic. And I bought a new coal conveyor kit. That's kind of the bases over there. I haven't really shown it. I'm going to build that eventually. But the most recent thing is I made a video on my duotangs that you guys used the last time you were here. So I was talking. Well, what motivated me was I spent last night and this morning doing the switching guides because somebody, Chris, had so much trouble switching out the upper industry that I've been thinking about doing it for a while. That's not actually why I did it, Chris. I wanted to. I had a lot of fun doing those.
Secretly. Well,
but yeah.
You also when I did my third rail Thursday, I had Mark on there, and he joined yours as well. But again, we weren't allowed to join his video.
I wouldn't use the word allowed.
Standards, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking I might try StreamYard next live show. I don't know. Or I might do a test. Maybe I'll just do a private YouTube thing, and then I'll try with you guys to StreamYard, and then try it out.
Absolutely. I actually it wasn't. Maybe it was. No, it was last month. I think when I didn't, or maybe 3 months ago. I've been using StreamYards for so long now. I went to go back to the original YouTube like live, and it was like it wasn't working the way I wanted to. I can't remember. I couldn't get it to like change something, and I was like, fine, I'll just use StreamYards because it's already all set up, and it's actually pretty easy.
Okay.
So I just end up using it.
Again, my only fear is like even the train cam I have right now, the audio is coming out kind of staticky. So I don't know. I don't get it. I don't.
It doesn't sound like it.
Oh,
Oh,
it's on
wait.
mute.
Oh, I thought you meant. Oh, so you mean?
So I heard staticky, but I'm not sure how it comes through on the other end.
Yeah, we'll have to test it, Mark.
Yeah.
We'll test it.
Also, I'm not going to have you on my show just so you can roast me for an hour. Jeez.
Well, everybody likes roasting peanuts. You're the peanut M&M, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's next month.
Yeah,
That's
next month. It's hard.
Yeah.
I've been going through a lot of your guys' old videos and some of the new stuff, but I mean, it's Chris. Don't take this the wrong way, but you're easy. I've like several videos queued up. Like I almost want to make a montage. That's how bad. Mark is a little less easy to find like immediate flaws.
I appreciate
They're
that.
there, and I've got a couple like written down that I have to like. I write down like the timestamp, and I want to get one with as much good, usable, roastable footage as possible. So
maybe
We'll see.
it's what I need to stop being me. I don't know. Whatever it is.
Have you ever tried to not just be yourself?
Yes. And yeah, it's not going well. So either way. But collectively, we all did a number of really good videos this past month in October there. And we've got lots more going on. You guys seem to really like doing the Third Rail Thursday, and I do believe that everybody that does watch loves watching, and they like tuning in and seeing what everybody's up to. And now that all three of us can actually run trains, it's a little bit more exciting. Well, on my end, anyways, because you tend to miss those things, right? So
Yeah.
But yeah, well, yeah, it's good to have a variety, though.
Yeah, so let me ask you this question, Chris. Since you always asked us, and now I can finally ask you. Now that you can run trains on a larger scale, do you find yourself doing less work on the layout?
No. I find doing less work, my 9 to 5. The trains are very distracting. And even like when I got the new F40, I was working that one night and I was sending you guys just screenshots or like pictures of, I'm working away and I've got the train, breaking in and it's going around the layout, and I was able to time it to see how long it actually took to do a full loop, which I believe was 28 minutes. Is that accurate? And that's, I mean, the F40 goes really slow, even for like speed step. I had it on 35, but it didn't feel like 35. And to do a continuous full loop, just by itself, not pulling any cars or anything, 28 minutes.
That's awesome.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, the cat likes it. So, but yeah, so I'll have it going while I'm working, just like what you used to do, where you would put a train on and it would just go.
Yeah.
And you can leave it and whatnot. So it allows me to break in trains a lot easier, but I'm still trying to do little things here and there on the layout, adding sidings and whatnot. So
yeah, it is nice to just let it go and like work on a section while it's going.
Yeah.
The only problem is like you get in the habit of like, oh, I'm just gonna let it go, and then it's in your way, and you're like, oh, like you're trying to like hold it, and the train's like coming in behind your hand, and you're like, no, this is like I gotta let this glue dry. And it's like, meow. Or you're like it hits your arm and like derails, and because I've got like the current keeper, it's like driving on the plywood towards the edge, and you're like, stop.
Well, it was fun because I had a like because every Sunday I do the Sunday brunch kit builds where I normally build kits, but I decided to work on my paper mill industry, that side of things, and I had the train going while I'm working on things. So I had to stop every couple of minutes to let the train go through, and
Yep.
again, it's fun to let the train go off and do its own thing, and while I'm working away, and then just like the railroad, you have to get out of the way to let the traffic through, and
Yep.
so that was fun. That was fun. Which I hope to do again. Switch up the locos every so often, but also that F40 that I did, as you guys saw, I did a video where I basically showed how I strip the locomotive, and I just have to have those painted. So no real update yet with those, because I know I had a lot of people asking, oh, what's going on, what's next, where are they? It's been a busy week, despite the fact that I was off all week because I'm on vacation, right? But I was just out of town, and I flew in today, and boy, are my arms tired. So
Hi-oh. Love that joke.
Ghost joke. Ooh. Nah, but so the main thing tonight, things that scare us about building layouts. We've all been there. A couple of us more than once. But there's always those things that, when it comes to building a layout, the things that almost stop you or prevent you from continuing or getting to the next step. And we're going to talk about that a bit today, because I think that at one point or another, whether it be 2 years ago or 2 weeks ago, we've all hit that brick wall, and we're going to talk about what we did to overcome that.
Yes.
Now, Dave, you're like the master of wiring, so I doubt wiring has ever been an issue for you.
Yes, that's not necessarily true. I just want to take this opportunity to say, give me 5 seconds. I am sizzling in this costume. Literally, it's like I think my wife turned up the heat, and I am so hot right now. So I'm just gonna flip the head thing down, but my headset's caught in it. It took me like 5 minutes to like get it in there. So why don't you start with Mark real quick, and I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Man, well, right now what scares me is, Chris, if a certain angle, it looks like your head's floating in kind of in space. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm kind of moving around. I've got a bubble here, and I know you can't really see the bubble, but I'm using the space as the over dramatics would say. I'm using the space. So,
but isn't that light like burning your eyeball? Okay, like, is it blinding you?
I mean, no. Yes and no. It's not pointed at my eye, but at the same time, my eye has basically been closed this entire time. So it's going to be fun when I take it off and turn on the real light, and all I'm going to see is red out of like the right side of my face.
No kidding.
So that'll be interesting for sure. For sure.
So when you first proposed the question to us, what scares us about the train layout, my first reaction was, well, everything scares me. I walk into the train room like, nope, I don't want to be here today. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Too scary. But I watched a YouTube video yesterday with someone using Smooth It to make a parking lot and roads and stuff. I thought, that's it. Every time I see someone do that, including you, Chris, I think, no, too scary, too messy, don't want to do it, won't do it, never going to do it. Haven't done it yet. I want to try it. I don't want to do a parking lot. I don't want to do like
it is messy.
I want to do like, how do you call it? Like a rail yard where the track goes into the pavement, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and road crossing, stuff like that. But no, too messy. Don't want to. Ugh, that scares the heck out of me. And again, we use the word scare because it's Halloween, but I'm not scared of it. Honestly, I just I'm hesitant to use it.
Yes,
That's probably the number one thing.
we should definitely clarify something. We're just using words like scare to go along with the
Yeah,
theme.
exactly.
It's not necessarily Mark is terrified of whatchamacallit.
That's right.
What would you call that?
It's
Like-
called mold? No.
Like
Plaster?
paving
Yeah,
something.
paving.
He only walks on the grass, guys. Leave him alone.
That's why I painted all my roads and stuff in my parking lot because it's so much easier. But I again, like I said before in my live show, I thought about it and thought about it. What should I do? What should I do? I would love to try smooth it, but not just yet. I see Fred E says in the chat, soldering is scary for him. Soldering was scary, but I had a professional, a friend, show me how to do it, and I trust him. And ever since then, there's a few times where I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I dropped solder on the foam, went right down to the wood. Or I think I singed the cord of the soldering iron, which is probably not a good thing. So it is, it's a hot tool and it can do damage to you. But and apparently the fumes of solder is not super harmful.
Oh, really? Sometimes I feel well. I guess it depends too what kind of solder you're using, but
Yeah.
sometimes or you're soldering something like you said, and you melt a piece of plastic right beside it, and then it just keeps burning, and you're just right above it, okay, I just gotta attach this wire, and the smoke's going right into your nose, and you're like, oh, huh,
Yeah.
I feel kind of funny.
If I remember correctly, I think I was told the fumes are not so harmful, but if you get on your hands, wash your hands right away because then it's not good for your skin or something. I forget what he told me, but he said the fumes don't worry about too much. But anyway, yeah. But I'm trying to think. Scenery in general does kind of scare me. I'm very, very hesitant to do scenery because I think part of it is too. I'm kind of a perfectionist.
I think whenever we look at our own work, and keeping in mind, because this is, it is what it is, right? But when, when it comes to doing something new, if it's something that you haven't done before, you obviously ask somebody who has, or what their experience was when they tried it. And, I think that's how we all learn, right? Like whether it's watching a YouTube video like you did, or asking someone, that, you trust how they did it. Even with things like ballast, there's a bunch of ways that you can spread ballast and bunch of different tools to do it. And even the fact that people are either, well, I put down my grass first and then my ballast, and then the other half is like, well, I put down my ballast then my grass. So you're going to get 100 different answers just for how do I do this one thing? So
yeah.
But your grass looks awesome, like the little front yards that you did on your layout there.
Thank you.
You worry too much.
I do worry too much. I do, and again, I think it's because I'm a perfectionist. I want it to be just. I have a picture in my mind where I want what to look like, and if it doesn't turn out that way, I get a little upset, and so I don't do it at all. That's Side note: John Train BFGR. He says that my scary story comes from Alfred Hitchcock's episode "Final Escape" from 1964. Thank you, John. I'll look it up.
Very cool.
Dave, are you still sizzling there?
I mean, always, but it's all good. Not to copy Mark, but pretty much anything scenery-wise, just freaks me out, and not so much because I'm a perfectionist, but it's because I go to do something and it's like I suddenly just forget what things are supposed to look like. I'll it's like the hills. I did the weaving and then I put the plaster cloth on, and I was like, is this what a hill looks like? I don't know. And I'm like, I'm texting you guys like, what do you think? Because like I need that validation, because it's just like, I don't know, like paint. Specifically though, I would say above scenery, anything to do with like paint, and like grass and ballast, because they're permanent. They're so much more permanent. Like to you, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna buy this new locomotive. I just paid money, brand new. Okay, I'm gonna just like strip it. No big. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? You just bought that. What do you mean you bought it just to strip it? Like, ah! And like I watched your video and I'm just like, that's not gonna be me. Like, and I have modified my way of modeling just because of that. I up until the building kits, I never painted anything. The thought of painting rolling stock or locomotives, that's just not happening. Like that, I would rather live without or wait until a company comes out with what I want than paint it. And like the boxcars you did, I don't know if you remember, you made me like green CP rail boxcars, kind of
Yeah,
like that.
that was fun.
It was you did a great job. I wish I would have kept those. But you did a great job. But even at the stage I am at now, which is so far ahead of where I was, there's no way. Like it's just there's no way. And with like the scenery, it's because like right now I'm like, oh, I have a problem with my track. No big deal. I used white glue on everything. You squirt water on it, it comes up. You move it, you fix it, you replace it. It's still a big job, but it's not that bad, right? As soon as I ballast everything, and it's like, oh, that switch needs to come out, that's a big job now. Because not only do you have to clean, like you have to take things off and you have to like strip it, like and take the ballast and stuff, and then replace everything anyway. Now you have to redo it in such a way that it matches the scene again. And again, that's just like, okay, like painting my track, that was a huge thing for me. I have ballast and grass ready. I just haven't done it, And further to echo you, there's a million ways of doing it. When I showed that I had painted my plaster cloth, people were like, oh, I put on my grass while the paint's still wet. And I'm like, oh no, but I texted you and you're like, you could do it either way. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, oh, I'm worried about it. Like it's something I'm just not comfortable with. So I wouldn't say I want to make it look perfect. I have that vision in my head like Mark, but I've pretty much accepted that like it's gonna be like that scene in The Simpsons where Homer buys that grill, and he's like he's got the picture and he's like, that's a fine looking grill. Why doesn't mine look like that? Like that's me, right? But I've kind of accepted that. But it's just kind of like, okay, I have to do tons and tons and tons of research on what I'm about to do. I got to watch like 4, 5, 6 different videos. I got to consult you guys. I got to like read a couple forums, and then I'm going to do it,
Yeah, same here.
But
and what's funny is, I don't know about you, Dave, but when you do it, it's like, wasn't that bad?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this looks awesome. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
No, 100%.
I don't get mad because that's not me. But like if I say I'm so mad because like you'll text me and you'll say, Chris, I don't know. And then you go and do it and you're like, or I'm like, why did you even text me? Like it's huge. I think self-confidence is a huge thing.
Absolutely.
And we never see our own work how others see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things where it having that reassurance of like a second person to look at it and say that looks good, or it would look even better if you did it with this or like this way, or try this. obviously you never want to insult somebody's work because, we were all at that point at one point, or at one time, I should say, where, picking up a hammer and a drill was, otherworldly, if I can say it like that. And, you wouldn't want to spend all that time and effort putting everything you've got into something just for somebody to tell you that doesn't look right,
Yeah.
but if somebody's there and they're helping you out and they want, nothing but the best for you, because I think that our community is that good, where we've got each other's backs and we're always there to help each other out. And if you've got a question, somebody has an answer.
Mhm.
There's enough of us that we've been in this hobby for a long time, especially the vets. You ask them anything and they know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I think that failure is a huge thing, and it's something that I carry with me on a daily basis. When it comes to something, you set such a high goal, and you try to do your best and whatnot, but in the back of your mind you're like, well, yes.
Oh, you meow in the back of your mind too? Oh, I thought it was just me.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my thought process. Meow. So, but yeah, it's like, what if I fail? What if this doesn't work? What if,
Yeah.
all this is for nothing? What if I have to start over?
Yeah, and there's multiple different aspects to that, but one of it is like for me, well, for me, it's like money. I don't want to like you stripping that locomotive. I don't want to pay $300 for a locomotive.
Yeah.
Strip the paint off it, repaint it myself. It looks like garbage. I can't enjoy that anymore, and I just spent $300 on it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like it's ruined,
Yeah.
Yeah, like. So what do you? I don't know if I missed you, Chris, but what are you scared of?
Well, besides the whole failure thing, I'm still very on the fence about wiring. It's never been my strong suit. Like I take carpentry and all that in high school, and I can build stuff, lay track, and my soldering seems to be okay because for the amount of feeders that I have, which aren't many to be honest with you, the train still runs perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, there's so much more that I could be doing. Like I hear about, like Bubs is always telling me, he's like, I'm getting this new locomotive, we're gonna put DCC sound in it, and like how many times have I come to you, Dave, and I'm like, Dave, can you put in this decoder for me? I don't want to become a burden upon anybody, so it's one of those things where like, yeah, I should just bite the bullet and do it myself. But like you said, in regards to me stripping the locomotive, I don't want to spend the however much on the locomotive
Yeah.
and then however much on the decoder, and then the whole thing catches fire. So
Yeah.
so
That's like it's understandable. I think a lot of people can relate, and we've talked about things in the past, and it's kind of like just try it one step, like research it and try it one step at a time. Like I found with scenery or like with buildings, just step by step get the building, or like paint what you got to paint. But like first I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I like this color, so I tried on like a scrap. Or I'm like, ooh, laying track, test every part of it before it's like down,
mm-hmm.
and that makes the whole process easier. It doesn't stop any of those things, but at least you might be able to catch yourself before you're in too deep.
Yeah.
And especially like, I think money is a huge part of it as well.
Oh,
when
yeah.
when you're spending so much, that's when the whole weathering thing, like I used to be like that with buying a $30 car, $50 car, or $300 locomotive. I would say no. I don't want to weather it. I bought this thing. It looks shiny. It looks new. It looks awesome. But the real ones don't look like that, And I found a new love for graffitiing it or weathering it, or even buying the ones that are pre-patched and all that. They look amazing being pre-patched, and there's very minimal to do, and it just adds like a whole other level to the model. So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Guys in the
eventually
chat are saying that water is difficult to do, and they're scared of water.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't looked into that because I'm too scared. Yeah, I haven't even looked at that.
No.
I'm excited to try it. I've never tried it, so that's going to be a new experience for me for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Like Perry says, water is difficult to do well. Like
Yeah.
we got the water, but to make it look like real water.
I think pouring the resin is the easy part. It's doing all the ripples and the waves and whatnot. That
And
might
the paint below to give it depth.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
At least certain manufacturers are helping with certain things like that. Like Woodland Scenics does do the colors that you can paint under, like to create that depth. So darker obviously means deeper,
yeah.
and then you can also add colors to your resin to change it from like an ocean blue to like a muddy swamp or greeny swamp,
Yeah.
which is neat. So
Yeah, yeah. I think sorry, just to point out with getting stuff done, like water made me think of it because I looked into it when I first, because I initially wanted to put a bridge on this layout and have like a full water feature, and I didn't, and now it's like the harbor scene's here, so I'm gonna end up doing it. But when I first looked into it, there's just so much, I don't want to say conflicting, but like different, because there's so many different ways to do it. You'll like read one, or you'll like watch a video on one, it'll be like, yeah, paint it black,
Yeah.
paint the bottom black right up to the edge, and you're like, okay. And then you watch like another video and they're like, don't paint it black and don't paint up to the edge, and you're like, okay. What do I do? Like, which one's right? And they both come out looking good. And you're like, oh, I don't know which one's gonna be better for me, and that's confusing as well. But I mean, that's literally every step of this hobby, from what brand to locomotive to what era to what size of cars to what coat of track to, do I use foam road bed or cork road bed, to do I do a cookie cutter plywood, do I do a baseboard, oh my god, it's so, do I put foam, like,
So what I do is
it's
I let
overwhelming.
Chris go first.
Yeah,
Oh,
Chris,
let me do it first, see what
Yeah.
happens. So if I start a small fire or something, then you're like, yeah, it's probably best that we don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Roger says lightning is hard to do. Roger, lightning, all you gotta do is flick the light switch on and off. It's really easy. Oh, lighting. Sorry. Lighting.
Well, when Dave has like no issue with this, he'll take an afternoon and
I just I don't know, I'm just like looking at the lights and like, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, but Dave's light setup is not like super simple unless you're into wiring. Again, lighting is to do it well is tricky.
that's true. That's
You got to use
true.
like the what do they call light blocks?
The Just Plug kit. There's a Just Plug kit, and there's
You don't want light bleed, right? You don't want the light bleed.
Yeah.
You don't want it too bright. You want the white or the yellow light.
Yeah.
So that could be a little scary.
That's something that I want to implement now, but I need to go back and kind of perfect later, right? And actually, that's a lot of my layout. My layout's like, okay, good. This is like cool. I like this. But later on, I'm going to come back and redo it from like scratch. Like, I do want to, somebody suggested painting the entire interior of the building black so there's less light bleed. And I'm like, that's a fantastic idea. I want to do that, but I'm not doing it now, right? So it's like, there's like stuff like that too. But yeah, I think everybody's going to have their strengths and weaknesses, and at the end of the day, even if everything seems terrifying, like, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know?
Is there, because we've all done multiple layouts, when you go to build a layout, is there something that you purposely skip over so you don't have to do it? Like that kind of like, I want to take a hard left instead of, going right and trying it out, like, dipping your toes in the water to get your foot wet,
Do you want to go
but you
first?
totally avoid it altogether.
Well, besides scenery, I don't know what else.
For me, it was inclines. So before this layout, I was like, I'm just gonna keep everything flat and build the scenery around it to make depth. And after that failed horribly. Whatever. But the big thing that really cemented that in is how many coupling problems I had going from that damn that forsaken foam roadbed down to the foam using those wood shims. That was just a nightmare. And I was like, if I can't literally have like less than a centimeter like down and I have problems, how am I gonna ever have like inclines? And then when I designed this, I was like, well, I got no choice. So I guess I'll suck it up. Like people do it. There must be a way to do it. I guess I'll figure it out. And I did. So that was a big thing. There was no other way. I mean, the only other way I would have avoided that is if I would have had a switching layout here instead, because there's no way I could have. It would have been a loop here into a single track, because there's no way I could have had double track around the corner, and then another loop. Like it would have done. There would have been. I guess I technically could have done it, but it would have been really strange for operations.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that and that's kind of the nice thing, is because when you're in the planning phase and stuff like that, that's your chance, right? Like that's your one opportunity to be like, okay, I'm going to take everything I learned and I'm going to apply it. But like, what else? What can I need to push myself out of my comfort zone. Like a lot of people don't, and they do what they know, and it's great and it works out fine. But seeing that I can push myself and have inclines and have certain things, I'm like, okay, you better bet my next layout is going to have inclines and stuff like that as well. So.
I was like that with double slip switches, which I have a heyday with whenever I come over to your layout.
Yeah.
And water. So I would buy a bridge and I would say, okay, this is the layout where I'm gonna do water, and then I end up switching out that whole section there, so there's no bridge. It's just So just avoiding that one thing that I've never done before.
Some people are saying signals.
Signals.
That's a huge That's a huge thing. That requires the problem with that too is it requires so much planning. I feel like that if you haven't planned for it at the beginning, it's non-possible, but it's difficult. But I say that, but technically I think I'm the only one out of the three of us who has signaling on the layout.
Yeah.
Being my one signal.
Yeah.
And I had to custom make that, and not make it, but custom wire that, because there was nothing out there that actually did what I wanted it to do, and it doesn't function 100% the way I want it to. I could make it where, because right now it only switches between two colors, and then I've got a cheater switch, and it works fantastic. And honestly, if I left this forever, I'd be happy, because I like the ability to switch it myself. So it actually kind of works perfect for me, and I like the way it works. But if I really, look at it, it doesn't switch to 3 colors itself. You know, it only switches red to green, green to red. But I'd love signals, but I haven't planned for them enough. So
Yeah, that's signals don't scare me. Like Roger says, like crossing signals. I would love to have signals. Part of it is my knowledge. I'm embarrassed to say I don't really know how some of those signals work. I kind of get it. Like obviously red means whoa, whoa, stop, and green means go, but I don't know where to set them up. And I think my layout's a little too small to have signals, but I do. It's on my bucket list. I do want to try adding signals for sure. Just to try it.
yeah,
Whether they work or not prototypically, but just to.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mark. I actually don't fully understand how they work either.
Yeah.
Like I have a grasp, which may or may not be correct, but I don't actually know 100%.
Okay.
And that's why, Chris, when you're like, Dave, I need you to look into the signals for my layout, I'm like, what? Like,
yeah.
I wonder if Bubs knows. Like,
Yeah.
That's okay. You get the same reaction from me when you're like, so did you, create blocks? And I'm like, like, building blocks? And then I have to go around snipping my rails and whatnot now. But,
that's fine. That can happen later.
Yeah. But, it's just, all these little things that, we try to avoid. And in some cases, they turn out to be not as scary as what we imagined in our mind. And I think that's mostly what it is. And that's what prevents you from doing these things,
Yeah.
But it's also a learning experience,
Yes.
like if I look at the ballast that I did, 5-6 years ago compared to the ballasting I do today, old me would be like, wow, it does get better. But, so it's just one of those things, you try it over and over and over again, practice, and, I'm do your test track as well, just to see what works. And then even with wiring, sit down with somebody that knows a heck of a lot more about wiring or something like that, and have them show you, because that's another way to learn. Sometimes watching the videos are very hard to decipher or see exactly what they're doing or what they're saying. But if somebody's there, and I hate to use the term hand holding, but sometimes we need that in order to really grasp and understand or learn, like, how to do these very fickle things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to take Mark's place as the teacher here, but isn't there like 3 ways to learn? There's like visual, audio, and then like, I don't know the name, but it's like hands-on.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
Kinesthetic? Okay, my teacher wife says it's kinesthetic.
Yeah. Like Chris said about the tutorials, it's hard to find a good video because, like, at least for me, I want to find a video to match exactly what I'm doing. I want someone to have all my material, all exact same stuff. This way, do step 1 to 10, done. But sometimes they're like, well, if you have this version of this, you may want to do this. But I'm like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because there's different kind of track, different kind of wiring, and like did tracks, NCE. Like when I did my my local shed, when I weathered it and painted it, I pretty much copied exactly what Jason Jensen did. Right, I bought the exact same paint color, same company of paint, exact same. Even the palettes I put the paint in, exactly the same. Copied his, and it worked out perfectly. But other than that, like, if I want to strip a locomotive, I'd have to buy the same one Chris bought, the same alcohol. That way, I'd feel a little more confident in what I'm doing.
Yeah, you know what to expect then.
Yeah, exactly.
Even with something like that, I mean, sometimes it's trial and error.
Yeah, see,
a very expensive error, but
oh god. Well, but with paint, it's such a, like, I feel with wiring, it's like put the attach this wire here, and there's, you're like, okay. Whereas like painting, they're just like, oh, just like feather it on the surface, and I'm just like, and there's a big streak, and you're like, well, that didn't work out the way I thought it was gonna. Like, I just stupid paint. I hate paint. Don't. Oh Jesus. Catzilla.
Yeah. But with wiring though, wiring too. For me, the wiring is when we're doing lights. It's do I need a oh shoot, what's it called? That the little thing between the wire and the light.
Resistor.
Yes. Do I need a resistor or not? Do I go with a 22 gauge wire or a 14 gauge wire? Do I use suitcase connectors or do I use the little screw things? And Tom says, I learned how to wire from Mark. What? Mark who? You did not learn to wire from me, Tom. There's no way.
Yeah, but with that Mark II, you can test it. I mean, typically like LEDs do, but worst case, you try one light, and if it blows up, you need something there. That's regrets. I think I mentioned I wanted to bring this up. So talk about lighting. I'm very comfortable wiring and everything, but stupid me, I bought these cheapy wiring. I don't know. Can you see it? Can you see the light right here? Yeah, you can see it. Okay. So, oh god, Catzilla here. Whole layout's gonna fall over if we're not careful. So, I wired it up and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be? What's he got? Oh, okay. He's eating things. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be easy if I just, because they're too bright, so I want to dim them just like I dimmed my interior buildings. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be easy if I just connected it to it? So I was like, oh, I should test. And I'm like, oh, okay. Stupid me. It came with a broken one. So instead of just using the physically, like the plastic's broken on it, so the LED still worked. Instead of using that already broken one and just checking I could have done my research and actually checked, but of course I didn't. Stupid. But I just plugged the already glued one on my layout into my system, and it immediately blew out. And I was like, oh no. So of course then I check, and it's like, oh, this system is 3 volts versus my other system, which is 12 volts. Yeah, that probably won't work. So why did I even try? And it's like, now I have to rip this one. It was this one. So I had to rip it off, and all the wires were, it was terrible. And I was like, oh, I'm such a moron, stupid. I'm like under the layout unscrewing stuff. And I'm like, Dave, like, why would you do this? But mistakes happen. It's fine.
The same can be said about painting. You can just practice paint, test it out first before you put on the makeup.
But I tried that when I made my first kit. I think it was that one. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna paint this red. Like I spray painted it, and it was like sweet. And I was like, okay, great. And then I was spray painting it, and I guess I like spray painted a little too much, and there was like a drop like rolling down the side. And I'm like, no, like this didn't happen. And so you're like blotching it with paper towel, and then it's all different, and you're like, what do we do?
I get that. Yeah.
Then the panic sets in.
Yeah.
The neat thing is that with this hobby, no matter what you're doing, there's always an easier alternative. And I think that, the more that companies come out with things to help those of us with these fears, more or less, the easier that it becomes for everybody to become more involved and to be able to achieve these things that we're all talking about. And I'll give you some examples. DCC systems. I mean, everybody has a favorite. Some are a lot easier to use than others, but as time goes on, I'm sure there's going to be other systems and whatnot. Switch machines. Now, if you handed me a tortoise switch machine, I mean, I'd have a heck of a time, wiring that. But with Walthers, they do have their switch machines, and even though it still has its sets of complications, I'm still able to, basically install it on my own and have it working in, an hour or so, or a couple of them anyways. Things like lighting. Again, I'm not the greatest when it comes to wiring up things, but I'm sure I can if I'm forced to. But the lighting that Woodland Scenics does as well is it makes things a lot easier. And installing, lamps and whatnot, for me, it's a snap. So even companies are starting to. There's a company, I forget the name of it. It'll come to me though. They build prefab bench work, and it's you can get a rectangle or a square, and all you do is you buy a bunch of them, you put the legs on, and you can basically lay a sheet of whatever over top of it, and that's your bench work.
Yeah.
And it's very modular. So I mean that helps. If you have like a club or whatever, or if you go to shows and you want to take your modular layout to show it off, then at least the whole layout comes apart. With track and whatnot, if flex is just not your thing, and working on radiuses, measuring, math, and all that stuff, there's still lots of different snap track out there that's available. And it makes a quick job of it. It says right on the packaging what the radius is, and you can have a layout in minutes just by connecting all these together. It's very I want to say it's simple, because it is. It's not. It doesn't take away from the putting it together, but it's definitely a lot quicker to snap some track together and nail it down or glue it down, opposed to, okay, so I need to measure out this curve first, make sure that it's smooth, then do I elevate it or do I keep it flat? And then you got to work out the elevation height, and then you have to snip the track, solder the track together. You have to put your sleepers back under that might be missing from where the track meet.
Sleepers.
Yeah.
UK YouTube right now?
What?
That's what they call ties.
Yeah.
Right? That's ties.
Yeah.
That's
Sleepers?
what, like, I mean, I don't know. It's fish plates and sleepers and
all the lingo.
Yeah.
It's the whole plow versus pilot situation. What I'm gonna let's ask everybody in the chat, shall we?
Hold on. Is there a poll option that we can do? There's a poll option.
I wish there was a poll option that we could do.
Is there not?
Okay, well, let's just do it as either type the word pilot or plow. And we're basically talking about the plow pilot on the front of a locomotive, or the rear if it goes both ways.
The cow catcher.
The cow catcher.
The cow catcher.
There you go. But what does everybody in the chat, and there's at least 20 of you in there, what do you all call that piece that's on the front or back of locomotive? Just let us know in the chat.
Yeah. So, yeah. Chris, how do you pronounce aluminum? Aluminium?
Luminum. I don't know.
I kind of like. I don't mind, like, because I watch a lot of like mostly UK attic railroads. Like, I'm a big fan of what those guys do, even though it's more of just running and less. A lot of them have like less ops, like less switching and stuff like that. I'm just a big fan of the old like English like locomotives, the old classes, and like the old steamers and stuff like that, because they've got tiny little wagons with 2 axles. And I'm like, how much fun switching that would be? Like, you could fit like 4 instead of 2. Like, that would be incredible.
I agree. I just can't stand those couplers.
Yeah, but you can. You mean the hooks with the hooks? Yeah, those. I don't know how you get away with those.
Looks like
they
a
must.
fish hook.
They must have knuckle couplers. conversion
No.
kits.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never
But
seen.
I guess they don't actually use them on those rare. I don't know what they used them on. I don't know what the real prototype back then was. If they were just hooks, I feel like they were just hooks. I don't know. Chat probably is gonna. Somebody in chat probably knows.
It honestly, it looks like it's split because I'm seeing a lot of cowcatcher, a lot of plow, and a lot of pilot. So
Yeah.
I don't think that there really is a wrong answer because one way or another, someone will know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We're all evenly divided, and
Yeah.
we all agree that everyone's right. So as long as you're not calling something like the tender a plow or something like that,
Yeah.
it's just, it
Yeah,
is what
they're.
it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Tomato, right?
Yeah.
But and what were we talking about before we got into the? We're off track. Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I spoke too soon.
Oh, I was just gonna say we were talking about how manufacturers are making it easier by providing alternatives that. Well, let's just leave it at alternatives. But one thing I will say, and I don't know because I haven't looked into Snaptrack, but at least with Atlas, Snaptrack only comes in up to 24-inch radius, I believe. It would
Yeah.
be nice. It would be nice, and maybe another brand does, but it would be nice to come with, well, because Mark, you said yours, what's your minimum? 27, 26, or 28?
I think 28.
Yeah, and Chris, you're like 30 something, 30.
34, 35
Yeah.
is my biggest.
So it would be nice, I think, because basically if you want to have 22, 24, 24 is not bad, but really at this day and age 24 is acceptable, I guess. I don't know, I mean, I'm not the guy to be talking about this, but with my 15-inch radius turns. But it kind of feels like the bigger you go, the less options you have, right? So if you're gonna have like a basement layout that has larger curves, you have no choice but to go to flex,
Yeah. Otherwise,
which is good and bad. Like, I don't know. It'd be nice if it was available, I guess.
there's even pre-built buildings for those who don't like doing the kits, who don't like painting, right? And they're lit, so all you have to do is plug them in. There's ones that go with the Woodland Scenic stuff, and there's crossing platforms, and even when Mark was talking about doing that the concrete pad, I mean, there's some kits that are coming out now. You can get a whole intermodal yard that you can build yourself. That's all plastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can get. Well, you'd obviously have to get more than one box, but it allows you to put the track in, and the track goes in, and then you have the piece that runs down the center of the track, and it looks like concrete. You just got to paint it.
Cool.
How much more realistic is that compared to actually, pouring plaster or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, it might be less to be desired by some, but it's another step where, okay, well, I'll start with the plastic, and once I feel more comfortable, maybe I'll replace it, and I'll just pour my own.
My goal always for scenery and stuff is if someone walks in and says, "Oh, look, a roadway. Oh, look, that's supposed to be pavement." Mission accomplished. I'm not going for a super prototypical. Never ever.
Yeah, I think it gets harder when you really break it down.
Yeah.
Even something like with the telephone poles, like you can go out and you can get a whole box of telephone poles for probably about $15 to $20. You just paint them up, make them look like wood, and string some fishing line or some black thread, and you've got telephone poles. Or you can take the shortcut and get the Woodland Scenics ones. You pay about $15, $16 for 4 poles, literally, that are already pre-strung, mind you, they work, but in order to do like a long section where you'll probably need a good
Yeah.
20,
Mhm.
20 poles, you're going to be paying, $300 probably for something like that. Is it
Yeah.
worth it? Maybe if you're not very good at painting, telephone poles or wiring it.
I
But-
Same
mean,
with fence too. Same thing with the fence.
and
The
trees.
fence, yeah.
Trees
And
too.
trees are a
Right.
huge one.
Pre-built trees are very expensive.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
And yeah, oh my god, you need like tons, right?
Oh, like I tried making my own trees, like the Woodland Scenics ones. Painting them were okay, but when it comes to doing the actual leafing and whatnot, it's like I don't find enjoyment in that.
Mhm.
I don't think that's fun for me personally.
Yeah.
Especially the repetition behind it. Yeah, I know I like to do a little bit of everything, but I mean, if I have to make a good 600, 700 trees, I don't want to sit there making every single one.
Yeah.
So,
And that's what it comes down to, right? You need to be happy with your layout for
Mhm.
you, not for anybody else, but for you. But you also have to enjoy building it and running it and looking at it. Like it's every step of the way is about you and what makes you happy. I like doing like these book things, but it's not super like, even though I'm making all these like rules and step by step things, it's not super realistic. I mean, you guys have been here. It's just kind of like, let's just enjoy it, and if you don't want to follow this, that's fine with me. But doing that makes me happy, so that's what I do. Whereas you go over to like Chris's layout and it's just like realism 101 and you don't want to touch anything because it's perfect, and you're like, okay, I'll just stand here and look at things.
It's so
But
crowded that there's no choice, but I touched everything.
he did. He licked
like
a couple of things too. He's
like,
like,
Every
that's
strand of static grass.
Boom, boom, ow, oh, like this. Like,
Hi, Gucci.
my dog does hello.
but yeah, there's so many things there where you can, what else was I thinking? Yeah, trees, pre-wired electronics, buildings,
Yep.
even just locomotives, right? Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, just the ability to. Sorry, man, I've been sitting on the stool for like over an hour. I had to steal one of our pillows to try to.
man,
It's so squished.
his
Man,
bacon is
that
cooked.
stool is not meant for sitting for like an hour. Oh, I'm dying. I'm gonna stand, so I'm just gonna move my camera up a bit.
Is that like a cat's face or something?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. We have multiple. This is just one of them.
I was not expecting that.
Meow.
Yeah,
Sorry.
right. Oh, jeez.
I'll just stand.
But yeah, when I get even locomotives, right? Like you can buy it just DC or you can
Yeah.
buy DCC and sound. A lot of people get mad because when a manufacturer only uses one type of decoder, they want what they would normally use. So even buying, let's say, an Athearn Genesis, which normally comes with Tsunami, but all your locomotives are ESU, you'll buy a DC version and then put your own decoder in. But there's the work. You have to put the work
Yep.
into it to
Yep.
really get it going.
The nice thing, because I had, well, I didn't have to do that. I bought my locomotives in DC because I wasn't sure if this whole thing would work. And I thought, okay, if I'm going to do that, I don't want to pour too much money into it. If the 15-inch radius doesn't work, I might just have to pack things away. So I did that, and then it worked. So they all came with ESU lock sound from the factory, but I couldn't. All the kits, ESU was like, it was during the summer. It was last summer. Yes, not the summer that just passed. And I I was trying to find the ESU kit because I was like, oh, if they came from the factory, all the boards now have like a 21 pin plug or the eight. I think 8 pins being kind of phased out a little bit because everything has more functions now. But I couldn't find ESU. Everywhere was out of stock, and I ended up emailing a bunch of companies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, ESU's on vacation or closed for the summer." So I ended up going with TSC because they also had a kit that like, here's the speaker that fits here. Here's a walkthrough guide on how to do it. This decoder plugs in here. Solder the speaker on, solder the current keeper on, and Bob's your uncle. And so that's what I ended up doing. But that's one of my things is like if I were to get another locomotive, I would have to buy DC and put the TCS sound in it because I do like these decoders and I do prefer how they run. I've had lock sound in the past and they're okay, but
Well, the keep alive is awesome. It's a wonderful feature for sure.
yeah. I mean, I have them in all 4 of my locomotives, so it's easy for me to be like, oh, everybody should have them in every locomotive. But that would be a lot of work and probably cost a bunch. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get what you pay for with that, right? So
yeah.
But Mark, what about you? What kind of things have you worked through?
That I worked through?
Sorry, yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't know. What do you think? You've been following me since the start. Honestly, like I said, I kind of joke, but I'm not. Like I walk into the training room, I'm like, I'm very overwhelmed. Don't know where to start. So everything I do, I pretty much walk through. Doing the ballast was a very, very long process, mentally too. Just doing everything. Again, a fear of the unknown, right? Like, yeah, I'll do it later.
Yeah.
What keeps you going though? What motivates you to finally say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this, and yeah, if it happens, it happens, right? Like,
good question. One thing that motivates me right now is I really want to keep saying this. I really want to make a follow-up video to the Walther switch machines because there seems to be an interest out there in the community. So making the videos kind of motivates me to work on the layout and vice versa. So the two going hand in hand. I really enjoy making the videos. I really do. And so I always need material to make videos. So like I said, when school starts, I'm very school oriented, like focus on school. So I don't have much time to work on the layout and make videos. So
it happens. Christmas break is around the corner though.
I know. I'm hoping I know. I got to make a list of what to prioritize, what to work on. There's so much to work on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dave,
I don't know. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Dave, same question. What motivates you? When it comes to stuff like this.
I do enjoy working on the layout. Like I just flat out like I like running trains. I like just watching it go in circles. I like switching out industries. And I like the actual work. Well, some of it. I like wiring and stuff like that. So a lot of that, like the lighting on my layout, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna like kill off, a weeknight and just do, after dinner, come down here and work on it. Because I get enjoyment. I find it for the most part relaxing. Because I can, set everything up and come up with a plan and wire it all and make sure, do my testing, make sure it works. And then when I'm like running the train and I'm like, oh, that scene is going to look so cool. Like this harbor scene, if I can just finish the wall and get things going, like, oh, that's going to be so cool. So I want to do that. And then when I try to have you guys over to run trains, that really motivates me. And I end up doing stuff like that book and I enjoy doing that too. But for me, for example, I built it so I know how to switch it and I know what to do and where to go. But for you guys who have never seen it before or um, just don't know how to figure it out because you're not familiar, uh, it's kind of an excuse for me to be like, hey, like let me go wild with this for a little bit and get back to you. And that's kind of what happened with the book, but that's what happened. Initially the first time you guys came over, I like built a whole, I think I built like 2 buildings in like the 3 weeks before, like I invited you and then you guys came over, and I was just like boom, 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 boom. Like I got to get this done because the guys are coming over. Like I want this to be like as cool as possible, you know? So yeah, it's kind of just a little bit of everything that way.
Mark, I think he's saying that we motivate him.
Oh God.
Aww.
I didn't mean it.
That's
like
what I
that.
heard. That's what I heard.
I am never gonna hear the end of it. Oh no, you guys are
Can
gonna
I-
text me like every day now.
Can I get it in writing?
No,
Oh.
I'm gonna report this video so it gets banned off YouTube. So there's no proof.
Oh. All you have to do is play some music and it gets copyright strike. So, and then they mute it. So, but yeah, I mean, it's always good to find, things that are motivating to keep you going.
Yeah. What about you?
I mean, the Third Rail Thursdays, I'm very committed to that. And, when I know it's right around the corner, I always make a plan. I have to make a plan because I want to, make sure that everybody has a good time watching and whatnot. And that really motivates me to, get some work done. Same thing with because usually the first week of every month, I always do a layout update. And I never want to film a layout update and say, you know what, I really didn't touch the layout this month. I always want to make sure that I'm doing a little bit of something to just, so that you see change, you see progression. And, it could be something as small as, well, I put grass over this area here, or I ballast this entire section, or I added another level. So till I run out of room, right? But yeah, and you guys are also very motivating too. They don't want to be, mushy or anything, but you guys are. I watch your videos, and same thing with everybody in the chat too. I try to watch as much as I can. I don't always get to comment, but just watching everybody's progression and building their layouts and running trains, and I'm just like, geez, and I think that's what it was over the last year, was just watching everybody running trains and having fun. And that really pushed me to, finish my main line so I could have that same level of fun and whatnot, and you guys are all awesome, and I love all your layouts, and everybody's been working real hard and whatnot, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see everybody, doing what they love. It is what it is, but very motivating, very motivating. So
I'm not sure if this is a blessing or a curse, but the community is so nice that when you post a video, everyone's like, "Oh, it looks great, fantastic job." No one ever says, "Man, you blew it. It looks like crap."
we all wait for it. I think we wait for it. It's like you do something, you're like, I messed up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure someone's gonna say, you know what, Chris, you probably pooched this one, and they're not wrong because it's what I'm thinking in the back of my head. But
Yeah.
if it's clear sailing and everyone says, you know what, that looks awesome, it's like, oh, really?
Of
you
course,
get surprised.
saying that on the other glove, okay, other hand, I don't want anyone to say that it sucks or looks like crap. I want you to say it looks good no matter what.
Yeah, those are fighting words. Like no.
Even if you think it looks like crap, just say, "Great job, Mark. Well done." Send post.
The
Robert
problem...
is absolutely right. Wait till the next GVO, Mark. We'll see how you feel.
The roast.
Roasting.
The big problem with like constructive criticism, which is great, and I think everybody can appreciate it when it's constructive and it's put in a good tone. I think that everybody could use some, everybody can give some. But I think in this hobby, the problem is when you're doing something, especially with scenery or a track plan or something like that, you've planned so far in advance in your head what you want to do and how you want to do it, that when somebody's like, have you ever thought about doing this about this scene? That would look really good. No, like, no, no, nope, no. You know what? I'm just gonna delete that comment. No.
I just say, I'll think about it. Thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah, and then it's like, you've noticed in the next layout, that next layout update, nothing has changed. I'm still going forward with this. But it's hard because people, I mean, we're all defensive, right? It's our own work. We're already doubting ourselves in some cases, and you're right, Mark. Like, I do kind of want the constructive criticism for people to come in and be like, you know what, this would really finish off the scene, add this or change that. But then I'm at the same time, I'm like, no, just tell me it looks good and leave me alone.
I think there's a level of, we all feel in one way or another that this is a safe space and we're all good, but honestly, as soon as it's on the internet, it's every man for themselves, because they're out there. The sharks are in the water and they'll get you. But it's all on how you take it. Like, you have to have thicker skin, and take it with a grain of salt and a couple of Tylenol, but it is what it is at the end of the day. If you're happy with your layout and the work that you've put into it, I think that's really all that matters.
Exactly. To reference what you just said, though, it's kind of your attitude towards YouTube. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I started doing trains on YouTube and started posting things on YouTube for my friends, and I kind of still feel like it's true. I'm not making these videos for, like, I'm not doing this for the views. I'm not doing this for the profit. Not that I'm monetized, but I'm not doing this even just to make the videos. I don't even like making the videos, kind of thing. It's because I still feel like, even though I've got more friends now, I feel like this whole community is kind of my friends, and I'm like, hey guys, check this shit out. That's why I do it. That's why I still do it. So when somebody's like, that looks terrible, I'm like, my friends didn't like it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I take it so much more personal. I don't know. Do you guys feel like that too? Or is it just like, it's out on the internet, like you said, you got to just suck it up, take it, and go?
I don't have thick skin. I delete a lot of negative, well, not a lot, like, I delete any negative comments that come in, because it's hard to hear, even from strangers. But like you said, yeah, most of these guys are friends, YouTube friends, so they say nice things. But
the only time I delete comments is I get a lot of how-to video comments, and they're like, you did this wrong, and I'm like, no, I didn't. Did you even watch the video? Like, I mentioned that, here, or I changed that here, or I don't need to do it because of this, like, or I've been doing it the whole way and it's worked with all, like, changing my couplers on like old like Tycos. People are like, no, you can't just glue those boxes on. That will never work. And it's like, but it does. So I'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to argue with you.
Yeah.
Or I will, like, reply to a comment and they'll just like light me up, and I'll be like, all right, like, this is no longer constructive criticism discussion territory. This is like, you just want to say your piece. Like, okay, whatever.
And I think unjustifiably, if I can say it like this, is that you've taken a lot of, that heat because of the fact that you're doing something that not a lot of other people would attempt, even 15% grade, or sorry, not 15% grade, 15% radius, or not even percent, sorry, 15-inch radius on a 4%. Is it 4 or 3?
It's 4% grade.
Yeah, like, in my mind, that's crazy. But I mean, the support is there. If it works, great. If it doesn't, let's find a way to make it work. But I think that there was a lot of negativity that people would have towards that, just because in your mind, even I'm sure at one point you might have doubted yourself and said, well, this could work or this might not work.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, I did delete a bunch of comments because some people were like, that's not even worth doing. you know, if you're not gonna have 22-inch radius, don't even bother. Like, why would you even design something with less than, you know, 27 or 26 or something, you know? Or like flat out, that's not gonna work. And I posted in some forums, and I also read a bunch of forums of like, what will work? You know, do I have to make this work? Is my only option to go back to like Tycho, like toy train territory? You know, like what can I do? Is this, you know, what are my options? And you just get like, no, don't bother. It's not gonna work. Like, that's a stupid idea. And it's just like, okay, like, come on. So I
But
did delete a bunch of those comments.
But like it's like not like for what you did and what you had explained, it's not like what you were explaining was impossible. It's not like you said, I'm going to do a 15-inch radius but run passenger. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
Like to me that sounds like a why are you doing that situation.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that, but you know, by doing it, at least you've shown that yes, you can do it. It is possible. Limitation wise, of course, there's still going to be limitations to it,
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
but
oh yeah. Oh,
trial and error. You
oh
know,
yeah. Yeah,
like
I mean, my whole thing is, as long as it's good enough for me, as long as I'm happy, everybody else can bite me.
I read Thomas's comment. I deleted some rude comments about my skills, and I told my mom to stop watching my video.
uh, I think that like in general, everybody we're all we're all different skill sets. We've all tried a bunch of things, and I think that everybody, for the most part, is very supportive.
Yeah.
The one thing that I can't get behind is that when you say you're doing it wrong, but then you don't give a creative solution.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
one thing that I don't understand.
Well, and as we mentioned before, there are so many different ways of doing something in this hobby that, like, okay, yeah, do you want to tape it? Do you want to glue it? Do you want to screw it in? You know, yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. It doesn't mean they're right. So yeah, if I like, I'm not, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to release a video that is blatantly lies. I mean, some people will, but I won't, you know. And so like my how-to video, uh I'm gonna go back to like the mounting couplers on like the old Tyco stuff. It worked. I did that on multiple occasions. You know, a lot of the comments are like, "Oh, great, this worked great, fantastic, thank you." And then you have people who are like, "This is the worst idea ever. You're ruining this." Okay, but how? Like, it works. So is that such a bad thing? Like, yeah, there may be better ways out there, but like you said, you're going to have people who are going to give you constructive criticism and discuss things with you, and then you're going to have people who just want to like poo
Tear
poo
you
on your
down.
parade. Yeah.
Poo poo on the parade.
You know,
Can we censor that? Is there a censor of it? No, let's not censor that. But yeah,
beep beep.
I think that when it comes to stuff like that, it's just again, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Like we all learn at a different pace, and we all have different ways of learning. I, for one, I'm very hands-on, and I'm also very visual. I'm a visual learner. So if you're telling me, through text message or through the chat there, well, this is what you should do, da 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 da. To me, it doesn't, like, I don't learn that way. I don't know. I don't know. Even when, like, because I was like when I had a conversation with Dave there about wiring up certain things, I would draw my diagram and take a picture of it, even if it's on a napkin, and I send it to him, because that's how I learn. That's how I understand it. If it's drawn right in front of me on a napkin,
Meanwhile, I get
specifically
a
a
picture
napkin.
and I'm like, "What did you eat? Why are you sending me a picture of this napkin with like smudges on it?" And then you're like, "Oh, okay."
Because I obviously got a new box of crayons and I wanted to try them out for you. Obviously.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah. I think most of the people are good and are
Oh
just
yeah.
happy to see the content, happy to see what everybody else is up to. You know, oh, you didn't catch last video, no big deal. Like, you didn't watch my last 10 videos and you're here just to say, hey, it looks cool. good enough. Thanks for putting in the time. I don't expect somebody to follow every minute of my videos and know everything that's going on. People, we're all adults. We have other stuff going on. Like, we're all just here to enjoy it, right? This is the platform just to enjoy the content. Let's not make it painful for everybody.
Agreed. And I think that might also deter people from even posting videos because they're
Oh
afraid of
yeah.
negative feedback and whatnot. And I'm going to straight up say, when with this community, because we are who we are and we're all in this together, I think that there really isn't that. Like, I've seen different kinds of forums and whatnot and different video types where people are just getting blasted.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
you'll see like the odd comment that it's like that wasn't necessary, but that's like 1%.
Yeah.
The other 99% are genuinely good people that just share in the love of something that you also are in love with as well.
Yeah.
And that's what this community is. And I hope it's like that for a really long time, and I hope nothing ever destroys that, because it's a huge part of why we do what we do. And making these videos every week or every month and going live here and there saying hey, even if you're just here to say hey, let us know you're good, because going through everything that we have in the last couple of years, it's been rough for a lot of people. And this is our escape. The layouts are our escape. And
Yep.
Sorry, Chris, I wasn't laughing at you. I was reading the comments from Fred. If I don't get a clever comment from Mark, I think he doesn't love me anymore. And I'm glad you brought it up, Fred, because here's my dilemma, okay? My wife and I watched an interview with M. Night Shyamalan. If you don't know who he is, he directs horror movies. And he said, I thought so interesting. He said, I'm at a point now where kind of like crossroads. When I first started out, I was young and I wasn't afraid to challenge myself and to do whatever. I just did whatever. I was creative. I put it out there, and whether it was received negatively or positively, whatever, I just did it. And then as I got better and more directed more movies and a little more skillful, I kind of geared toward more to the audience, what they wanted. And not that I compare myself to M. Night Shyamalan, but I do find myself now gearing my videos toward the audience. What will the audience like? What will the people like? Maybe I shouldn't put too many jokes in it. Maybe I should keep more serious. And I'm kind of going away from how I started out. When I first started, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be silly. I'm just going to be stupid. I'm just going to put it out there. And if people don't like it, whatever. But now I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this Walter Switch machine. I'm going to be more focused and be, direct and try and cut out the humor a little bit. But I don't
can't
know.
hide who you really are.
There's nothing wrong with that, though. I mean,
No.
that's the thing about, and I'm gonna put this hobby as an umbrella. You're more focused on the making video aspect of this hobby currently, and that's fine. That's part of this hobby. You who take hours and hours and hours of footage, edit it, script it, involve other people, and then release it, and you make this really cool video, versus me who's like, I'm gonna one take this and then just upload it directly off my phone. Now I have been adding music, I have been putting a little more effort in, I have been editing a little bit, but
Cheesy bacon.
but it's there's nothing wrong with both ways. I find there are consequences, if you're a little more like, I look at some of my old videos and like the camera's like, ooh, like look over here, like, oh, over here's cool, like, oh, you see over here, like, and it's just like, okay, yeah, some people might not like that because they get like motion sickness and stuff, and there's things like that. But for the most part, if you want to just be like, here's my train, toot toot, okay, thanks, bye, cool,
Yeah.
that's the cool thing about the hobby, is it's very broad, so there's nothing wrong with that.
So Dave, I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I'm sorry, but
It's okay.
so why are you adding music to your videos all of a sudden?
I don't know. I Okay, actually, I do know. So this is what happened. So a couple weeks ago, I love my third op session. No, my fourth op session when Chris came over and I videoed, and it was his like GP40 or something, or GP35. I think it was GP40 dash. I don't know. I have no idea. And he just drove it, and I videoed it, and we were chatting. So I just put music over it because it's a little more enjoyable that way. I love that video. That might be my favorite video that I've released. I watch it at least once every couple of weeks. I love it.
That's not the real story. You found out that I love smooth jazz, and then you're like, you know what? I'm going to cater to the audience that is Chris, and I'm going to add smooth jazz.
But I like that, and then especially like I thought it would add a little what's up to the videos, and then especially with like my run bys, a lot of the times like I could release like 10 run by videos in like a day. Like those 30-second videos I could just do all day long. And sometimes I have like the train sound on, and sometimes I'm listening to music or I'm just chilling, and I don't want to like put on a show. So music is a really nice way to just, cloud that over, and I can just do whatever I want. And then I've gotten so much music downloaded from the YouTube library that I was like, oh, I'll just add it in the background.
Okay.
So that's pretty much why. There's no specific reason.
Just curious.
Yeah. Do you like it? Is it?
Because
nobody's given me feedback. So,
I
do you think it's?
I give you feedback. Yeah, I like it.
I think you might have been the only one.
I like music with run bys for sure.
But what about like, have you noticed even in I did the how-to lighting video, and even in the book video I just did today, I've got music in the background for that, and in the layout update.
Yeah, it's not overpowering. Just kind of there, and I like it.
Okay, I think I'll continue doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, trying to gear towards the audience, because our channels grow and grow and grow. So not just our friends watch now; it's people from all over that don't really know me and stuff. So
that's true.
But yeah, I won't change. I just yeah, it's all good. Thanks for the feedback, everyone. Appreciate that.
I think though that like with both of you, totally different types of videos and different styles of how you do your videos. There's a lot of face value to that, right? Because not everybody wants to watch a super serious, video of somebody talking about trains. They want to have a laugh. They want to, they want to see what Mark is up to this week. What creative take can you give to this?
Yeah.
Because they're at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's like, okay, mail call video. What did you receive in the mail? Layout update. What's new on your layout? Review a product. Show us how you put grass on the layout. You're going to see about 100 videos of each of those, maybe more. Obviously more, but so if you can do a mail call, but you like blast through the ceiling, and then you're like the guy on the train all of a sudden, and then you deliver this package, and then, then you open it, and this is what I got from the mailman, but I'm really the mailman, and all this stuff. That sounds like a Mark video right there, premise, But at the same time, Dave, when you're doing your one takes, you're so informative about how you do these things. You make it sound so simple, and you're like, wow, I can do that now because Dave explains it in a manner that even I can understand. And you make me feel smarter, like I'm able to do those things. So, yeah, the cat can do it too. So, but yeah, so there's a lot of face value behind what you guys do and how you do it. And it's different, right? Like, it's good to be different, and it's good to do your own thing, and not boring. So my 2 cents.
The thing is too now, there's I want to use the word pressure, but I'm known now as the funny guy, so I can't really put out a serious video because then someone watches like, wait, that wasn't funny. Where's the funny part? So I try and always add just a little bit of a joke if I can, even if it's not, because there's that expectation, you know.
Now we've talked a lot about the things that scare us, and you know, a lot of things as to how, you know, we overcome those things and whatnot. And, you know, I think even doing the GVO After Dark, where we come together like every month and we talk about many different things. We've done many different shows talking about things that we like and things that we've worked on and whatnot. And I think we've got a few more in us. You know, I don't think that it's over. I think that I think we've got at least one more season. I think I can get you guys to sign up for at least one more season.
Send me the contract, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I know,
Dave, you probably did this whole contract thing. Read it over.
The paperwork.
Well, I mean, how much am I gonna have to pay to be on the show this year? Because last year cleaned me out.
We'll get you some more likes. I know that this year is actually probably going to be a very busy year for you. 2022.
Yeah, I may take a absence. I don't know.
Paid vacation.
Paternity leave, yeah.
Yeah, paternity leave. So once again, my wife and I are expecting in February. So that's exciting.
That's very exciting. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm hoping. Well, and the thing is, I'm actually probably going to take 6 months off work after she's done her 6 months. So by then, I'm hoping that I can just prop kiddo here and have the train going, and I'm working here, you know, something like that. So we'll see. I may that may be really great for the layout. I might get a lot done.
As the godparents, Laura and I will come over there anytime to babysit, like you can play in trains.
All right, great. I have that on video, recorded video. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wait. Is that only if I name him after you?
No, being the godparents is good enough. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine.
Such an honor. Such an honor.
Okay. All right. I gotta talk that one over with Danielle.
I mean, Chris's kids still call me Brandon. I'm like, I'm not Brandon. Oh, hi, Dave. No, I'm not Dave either. You know what? Forget it.
You know what? They call me Mark anyway, so they're like, "Oh, hey, Mark." No, it's Dave. Oh, hey, Dave. Okay.
So I'm going to train David Jr. right from the start.
Yeah.
I mean, they call me Christopher. I'm like, no, you should call me Dad. So it's like, you know, you can't win with children. You know, it is what it is. But we've got a lot going on next month. I find, anyways. Next month is it's a pretty big month. November. I don't know if you've heard of it, but we've got our Thanksgiving roast that we're gonna do next month on GVO After Dark, and you know, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take some, you know, therapy classes after that one. So that's that's
being a thick skin.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we like I want everybody to know, and this is the thing I want people to take away from this, because we're you know, we're a good bunch here, and we're probably worse to each other off the camera, you know. And these two are hilarious, and yeah, I don't know where I found you guys. Probably on the internet somewhere.
Look, you invited me over to your house.
Yeah,
me too. That's how we.
Yeah.
We went over to Dave's house first. He was, you know, he put out an ad looking for older men to play with trains or something like that, and we were just, you know, we responded to the ad. That's how it happened.
What was weird that when I got there, he's like, "Wait, you're not 18?" Like,
oh yeah, that.
Why does that matter? The ad said any age. Any age is okay.
Between that and not knowing what scale Vinny was actually doing.
Oh man, that blew my eyes wide open. That was that's still a shock sometimes. but I've been going back through your videos, Mark, and I tell you, the 17 thing was warranted. I if I didn't know you, and I just like looking back at those videos, I honestly, man, with you and your brother, because even your brother looks young, I'd be like, yeah, man, like there's no way. You could have sold that, and I would have believed it for like I wouldn't have doubted it for a second. Not like
even with the green beanie on right now, he's looking real street. So I mean,
Yeah.
like he could be like cheer captain of like the football team or something.
yeah.
I don't know, but
You guys.
with his Mickey Mouse gloves there. Go team. And also next month we have the Third Rail Thursdays. Now, Dave, you're literally next week.
Yeah.
Do you have a game plan for
Not
next
one bit.
week? Not
It's
one
my
bit.
birthday on Tuesday,
Yeah.
actually.
Mhm.
So there will be cake on your there will be cake?
Okay, listen. I don't think anybody on the internet wants to watch me eat cake.
We've watched you literally eat bacon, strips of
I
bacon.
know, but cake is a lot messier. Like those what's the scene from Matilda where the kid's eating and the cake's just that's enough visual. That just if you ever want to see what it would be like for me to eat cake, just watch that scene. Because not only is it everywhere, but I also eat the whole cake. So it's just nobody wants to see that. All right, nobody. So I don't know. I don't have a plan. I have a couple kits I do want to build. I honestly don't know. You guys may or may not be coming over that weekend. Next weekend.
I'll do a live if the time approves and we're all good with that. I'll do a live.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
because if it's a Sunday morning, I normally do the Sunday brunch build, but I'm sure that we can have a Sunday train sesh instead
Yes.
with cake.
Yes,
And,
I think it's going to be a good time. I think it's going to be difficult to video if you guys are both running trains, but
Yeah.
I'm going to try to pick one of you, maybe the more competent one, Mark.
With his lead foot there.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
You
Did it
better be able
once.
to keep up with his trade.
You did not do it just
I
once.
did it once. I ran the
You
train
did
fast
not do it just once.
You
I heard
were
that
like, Dave,
motor
look,
maxed
your
out
cat.
at least like 4 times.
You kept distracting Dave with this cat, and then you turn to me like, "Yo, watch this."
Yeah, yeah.
And he
Speed
cranks
step
it.
12, more like speed step 120. Like,
I wonder how fast this thing goes.
yeah.
It's boring when it goes underneath the lay. You can't see it.
Be patient.
All right.
You got to add that realism. To it.
Listen, just because the lower reversing loop has more track than your entire layout combined doesn't mean you have to bash it.
Shots fired.
Bring your steamer. We'll time it. I want to know a direct comparison.
I still need somebody to bring over
Okay.
their steam locomotive so I can actually get an accurate reading as
Chris,
to how
we
long
don't
it
have 4 hours to wait. Okay.
takes. It's just a thing where
We don't have 386 minutes to waste.
I'm just curious. Whatever. But also on the 11th, which is Remembrance Day, and it's also my week for Third Rail Thursday, I'm going to do an awesome Remembrance Day live, and I do plan on having a special guest over to the layout, and I have some awesome trains lined up that would be really awesome. And it's gonna be a whole theme episode, so watch for that.
Is that on the Thursday?
It's literally it literally
sweet.
worked out that Remembrance Day is on the Thursday, the 11th, and
right on.
I'm like so far ahead of this thing right now. Like I plan months in advance. Like I sent you guys that itinerary that you probably deleted.
Yeah, no, that's
No.
I don't have that. You will have to resend that to me.
For you to delete it again, I'll just tell you the week of. How about that?
Like that.
All right.
No.
And then what about you, Mark? Do you have anything planned next month for your third round?
I have a locomotive that's been sitting in my layout or my train room since summer. I've been waiting for a time to break it out. It's not anything special, but it has not been opened yet. So I may open it next month.
How do you do that? How do you buy something and just not like?
Yeah, that's weird.
What?
It's because Chris has one.
Oh.
So I know what it sounds and looks like, and so I think I'm going to open it next month.
But still.
I don't know what it is. What is it? Oh, did you get it? Oh, is it an M420? Did you get one finally? You could say no if it is, and say yes.
You know I got an M420. I already broke it out and have videos on it.
Why do I feel like I don't know about this and it was just a really good guess? Do I know about this?
I don't
No.
remember any videos.
Yeah, I did.
On the M420?
Yeah?
Well, thank you very much for pretending to watch my video.
The roast just got spicier next. GVO After Dark. Mark's shooting to kill now.
Pure kill shots.
Oh.
Well, other than that, do you guys have any other videos or anything that you want to share?
That was the best unmute ever. Hi, Gucci.
You made my dog upset, okay? Listen to him.
Oh man.
Let's go back. Let's go back to this M420 thing. Okay, one GVO. I forget which one it was. Probably like in the summertime. But one GVO. Chris was showing up his M40, and everyone was joking like, "Mark, you gotta buy one. You gotta buy one. Red roof, black roof. Oh, even Mo was on there. My wife's like,
right.
"Okay, I'm gonna buy you one."
I remember that.
And so there's my dog again. Yeah, I know. I can't believe it, Gucci. Same. So I went out and bought one. I bought an M40, and I'm pretty sure I opened it on my live show, and I did a video on it. I'm pretty sure.
You're right, Mark. I do remember that.
I still don't remember.
I remember Laura in the chat, and I think Lauren from OVR was also in the chat or something, harassing you guys about buying one at the same time.
Yeah, you didn't know. You were going to buy it for me, but I bought it myself. No, Gucci, no. No, it's a bacon suit. He's not a sausage, he's a bacon.
I mean, close enough.
Sorry, he's watching a live on his cell phone, and we bought him a cheap cell phone, so the picture's kind of.
I
don't know what Chris is. I don't know what he is.
Don't let him hold it too close; it'll ruin his eyes.
Yeah. Oh, the poor dog.
Well, other than that, do you guys have anything else that we can, that you can let us know that's going to happen anytime soon? Any videos?
Unfortunately,
or anything?
Besides my live show, I don't think I'll be putting any videos out because school is pretty busy. So
watch for that. No.
Other than you guys coming over, I'm just gonna keep picking away. I'd like to move into this upper area because I really haven't done too much. So I'd love to get a building started and get some lighting up there too. But that's it. We'll see if that happens.
Anything coming in the mail? I feel like you said that something about you have something that's coming in the mail.
yeah, Dave, I think someone sent you a birthday gift. But remember, if someone sent you a birthday gift in the mail, it wouldn't be me though. I know the rules. But if someone sent you a birthday gift in the mail, just be polite. Maybe open it on, live on air, or make a video about it. And just be polite and say, "Wow, thank you so much," and then you can regift it.
So when Gucci drops it off in the mailbox, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Will it work on my? Do you think I'll like it? Do you think it'll work on my layout?
That's a loaded question.
You know what? I don't know. It may be too big, but I thought, I'll be honest with you. I bought it. And I was like, meh. If he doesn't like it, then he'll give it to me or Chris.
I'll
That
try
is
it.
true.
If it works, I'll keep it. If it doesn't, I'll raffle it off to you or Chris.
If you don't like it, then I'll try again. I'll buy something else.
No, you won't. Don't do that.
No, I owe you. I mean, being the godfather of your child is a big deal. So it's the least I can do.
Oh, don't worry. That babysitting deal, that'll hold up. We'll be
Maybe I'll just
even.
buy your unborn son something, like a T-shirt that says, "My Uncle Mark is the best."
The unborn daughter.
It's a son.
Yeah, he's having a boy. He's having a boy.
Yeah, it's a boy.
David Mark Cossier.
I mean, you can always hyphenate like Mark Chris or Chris Mark.
Okay,
You know.
so my wife's on the couch. Babe, we're naming our son David Jr., Mark Chris, or Chris Mark, depending on who's my favorite at the time. Yeah. That's
Or you
the
can
name.
you can do like Marktifer, right? Which is
Marktifer.
like half.
Oh my
All right.
God.
It's going to be Mark Chris after that comment. It's
All
Mark. Mark's in the lead. We'll see what
Sorry.
happens after the roast.
Can you? What about bacon? Can you add bacon to the name?
Not legally.
No. Oh.
I already went down that. I already tried. That was the first thing I tried.
Could be a
Darn.
nickname.
Yeah. Little baby bacon.
Well, other than that, I think the third rail Thursday is a hit, and I'm excited for what you guys do next month. I've got the Sunday brunch kit builds, which do continue tomorrow. So I guess I'm doing this again tomorrow. And then right through, we've got next week, which I'll probably be at your house. Probably. Allegedly, I'll be at your house. And I probably have a layout update that is going to happen next week as well, because it's the first week of November. And other than that, I know things always arrive in the mail, sometimes on purpose, sometimes by accident. But yeah. So that's it. That's it. That was the season finale there. That was number 36.
Whew.
36 of these guys.
Well, it was a great show. I know that I am fried. After
Yeah.
it.
I'm melting. I am melting. Yeah. Good show.
But
Yeah.
on that note, guys, thanks again. And everybody who's watching in the chat, we'll see you real soon. We got lots more for you. And I want everybody to have a good night. Have a safe Halloween. And
Happy
we'll see you
Halloween.
soon.
Yeah, happy Halloween, everybody.
Bye.
Doing this with one eye.